I'm back. Surprise, shorty. We got a good one tonight. Yeah, I vanished for a little while there. That was my fault. Well, work's fault, but we do what we can. But we're gonna watch a great game tonight, and we've got more stuff coming out this weekend, which I'm very excited about. Probably late this weekend would be my guess. And then we got to get really into off-season mode pretty soon here. But we'll probably try to watch a lot of the finals as well, as one does, of course, because that's the way it goes. Truly. I have the right game, right? This is game 5. What a disaster. Perfect. We're all set up. What's up, Tegan? How you doing? I'm good. It's way too warm to be wearing a jersey, so I got a Senators shirt on, of all things, which is kind of crazy. But as far as Eastern Conference teams that I do not support really at all. Midwest Glue, how's it cracking? But the profile picture is literally glue. All right. I like to commit to the bit. Yeah, I've got a lot of work to do over the next couple of weeks, both in actual work world and channel stuff, because I want to get a couple videos out over the next week and a half or so, and then we have to really dive into the recap videos and whatnot as well. Next season is the start of the new CBA baseball, and it's 84 games. I don't. Hold on. The sorry baseball thing is throwing me here, but yeah, 84 games for the NHL. They're removing 2 of the preseason games. It's just a money grab, as is everything. It is kind of interesting. I wonder if in the 90s, those who are 30 years old plus, in that range, like 30 to 45, if they also were watching everything happen in the world and everything just being a money grab and everything. Because as a kid, I feel like there was plenty of stuff to enjoy that wasn't just a money grab. But now, I mean, they're tainting everything that I hold dear. That's very depressing. That's too depressing for the start of this stream. But yeah, it's just a money grab. They're going to add 18 games, or they're going to add another game to the NFL as well, which is absurd. That's such a. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's more physical than hockey, but if you're a lineman, it is. Every play, you're just bashing bodies. I don't get it. And I can't imagine the Players Association is happy with it, unless their contracts are, boosting you. Baseball might be locked out next year. Sorry, I figured you knew. Oh, Pete, I am a very, very casual baseball fan, so I appreciate the update. I did not know that there was going to be a lockout. Is that good for the Red Sox or bad for them? Because they're shit. So I don't know if a lockout is beneficial to them or not. Maybe Roman Anthony will be healthy 2 years from now. Who knows? Yeah, it's been a long day. I'm being a little negative right now. We'll get back to it. Let's see here. I'm looking at the lineups for the Habs right now. Everything looks about right. Nothing crazy. Kirby Doc on the 4th line is kind of crazy, though. Has that been the way they've been running it? It must be, right? Bullduke's been so good down there, but yeah. Canes are, I would say, heavily favored to win this game. My close buddy, big Canes fan, I reached out to him and let him know that I was going to put a little $25 bet on the Habs tonight, which is basically a death sentence. If I bet on your team, it's not about to go well for you at all. So you know how it is, though. It's a win-win for me. Either the Habs win and extend a series, and I make some money, or the Habs get wiped out, which no one's really upset about. I do expect to be on a pretty massive delay on this one, too, just because I am getting clever with how I'm watching this one as somebody who does not have cable TV. And it is not on any of my streaming services. So, so minutes. And I'm curious if they'll do a Claude Memorial seems wrong, but you understand what I mean by that. Luke Kuechly on the alarm. Oh hell yeah! Oh man, I would have a lot of confidence in the Canes tonight. Kuechly's an animal. But yeah, I wonder if they'll have something for Claude Lemieux before the game. Maybe a moment of silence or montage. Maybe they'll just leave that up to the Habs if they get back to home, because I'm sure the Habs would like to do something on their home ice. Either way, just an awful, awful situation. A real bummer all around. This building's gonna be nuts tonight, though. This is gonna be really cool. And we're kind of looking at tickets for the finals because I'm only about a 2-hour drive from Lenovo Center, not PNC Arena anymore. Lenovo. And I've never been to a Stanley Cup Finals game, so very interested to see how that goes. Do we have any predictions for the game tonight? I my prediction would be like a 6-2 thumping in favor of the Canes. I think they're going to roll over them in this one, but I'll be interested to see. It's just there's a lot to talk about with this Habs team and what their ceiling actually is. I've been very, very vocal about how afraid I am of this team, especially with them being so young and looking like they're going to be in the picture for a long time now. But man, this has been a very sobering, very, very sobering series for the Habs. What up, Boston Red Sox 49? Thank you for the fuck cancer generosity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As usual, by the way, you're a very generous man. Yeah, the depression does really sink in, particularly with a series like this. But I'm glad I can help if just a little. Canes clinch 5-2 Canes. Yeah. Fuck the Habs eternally. Hell yeah, Frenchie. I hope MLB locks out. Red Sox are garbage at the plate and on the bases. Yankees are never losing again this season anyway. It would be really funny if a lockout really screwed over the Yankees. That's always a good time, right? No one's ever upset about that. Wow, I do need glasses. Holy, I just took these off and everything just. Oh, moment of silence. Whoops, I'm ruining the moment of silence. I am glad they're doing something like this. What a devastating loss. Yeah. Damn. That's just so sad. And it's a great reminder to everyone. Reach out if you need someone to talk to, even if you don't think it's going to help. You know, it's so important. I mean, especially if you don't think it's going to help. It is always worth it. Glad they gave a tribute. I thought that was Jalen Chatfield for a second. He's got the ripped jeans. Good for him. Yeah, I don't know what's like. Again, very casual Red Sox fan, but why are we like the worst hitting team in the universe right now? What happened? Because I mean, last year we weren't a good team, but we could hit the ball, and our pitching down towards the end of the games, our closing was terrible. But my goodness, the bats have been cold, and I mean, the field play hasn't been great. It's gross to watch. And the Roman Empire has just been a bummer this year. It's so excited about him, and not a lot to get super jazzed about. It's a very confusing. I mean, it's all red. This is a confusing matchup for fans, at least. Oh, there's even signs for Lemieux. Look at that. does not look comfortable singing this song. Tomorrow I am doing the large majority of the work for the Bruins trade with every franchise, which I'm gonna be honest, harder than I thought it was gonna be. And I'm gonna get yelled at so much in the comments after that video goes out. Because people just disagree with trades, right? And they disagree with value of players and things of that nature. And there's going to be some upsetting things in there, I think. Even though at the beginning of the video, I'm gonna be like, I wouldn't make all of these trades, but these are the best trades I could find for every team, and then people are still gonna be like, I hate you and everything you stand for, which is valid, I guess. I guess. I'm gonna have to grow this back out, obviously. We had to do the post loss shave, as you do. That dude looks like he should be chugging beers. Of course, my boy's gonna call me as soon as I start streaming. It's like the guy knows. He probably does. Oh, the anthems always take forever. They take forever. I'm a bad patriot. I don't. I just don't care about the anthem all that much. Nylander from Toronto. I mean, running Pasta then Nylander on the right side, one after another. I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I haven't gotten to Toronto yet. I expect it not to be Nylander because remember, Toronto, if Matthews comes back, right? Which I mean, it would be such a bold move to be like, I'm forcing my way out of Toronto. It just doesn't really happen. So let's say he returns. Toronto's in win now mode for the next 2 years. Do they have the roster for it? Probably not, but that's where they're at. They're trying to convince Matthews to stay. They're trying to build around him and McKenna, who we assume they're picking. I think the conversation about the number 2 pick and the number 4 pick, San Jose, Chicago, those are interesting ones because they've both openly said that they'll move off those picks. And I do think the Bruins are uniquely positioned to make a push for one of those picks. It would hurt, but you know. I hope Matthews says screw Toronto. Puck drops. Puck just dropped. Oh my god, a 2-on-1 off the rip. Could you imagine if they scored immediately? Yeah, I hope Matthews forces his way out because that'd be very funny. And all of a sudden, that 2028 Toronto pick, its value just goes through the roof. We should set an over-under on how many shots Montreal actually manages to get. During the intermission, I do want to talk a little bit more. Yeah, shots from blue line. A little bit more about this Montreal team and I mean, just what their ceiling really is. I can't believe they break a 2-on-1 right away. He shoots high. Oh, close too. I can't tell if Dobish gets. No, he doesn't get a piece. Jackson Blake, man, they just every guy they put in the lineup so good. Offensive zone face off, right side. Aho kicked out of the circle. My boy Jarvis won me a fantasy cup 2 years ago. No big deal. I mean, and look at the space they build out immediately on this possession. They circle the back of the net, and immediately Montreal gets turned around defensively. And you leave a guy wide open in a dangerous area. Yeah, his back is turned to the net initially, but there's still time and a play to be made there. Look at this. Around the net, Aho sits back. He's wide open. I don't know why Hudson's playing that far off of him. Oh, he's trying to fight through that other screen. Another face-off win by the Canes, too. This is the start you wanted for Carolina. And that's exactly what you can't have. That first transition from Montreal, and it's a poor pass, it's forced, and it's a turnover. And then they turn it over in their own zone, another shot on net. I mean, this is exactly what Montreal cannot afford. And we're going to be looking at that transition offense in particular. You're not creating possession, you're not creating multiple scoring chances, which means your only avenue to really win this game is either break a really heavy trend in this series or you find a way to score in your transition. You're opportunistic stuff that we talked about with the Bruins. And they're not going to have a ton of shots on net, but are the ones they are getting high value shots, high danger shots? I mean, immediately. Again, you have a chance to set up here, and you can't connect on a pass. Oh, here we go. Wow, what good defense by Svechnikov there. What great defense by Svech there. I do like that though. Get it in front of the net. Oh, early call on Carolina. Oh, hold on. This is what the Habs need. What up, Chief? Yeah, I'm going to be back a lot more during the finals as well. This has just been a really rough 2 weeks for your boy. I am exhausted and I'm very frustrated with life, but not in a bad sense by any means. Just in a typical life is stressful sometimes way. I like this for the Habs. You don't have to force a play here. It's 6-on-5. You're 2 minutes into the game. Find a position. Let the crowd boo. Take every opportunity you have. It's an immediate turnover. My God, as soon as he crosses the blue line. You need to, every opportunity you have to create some offense, you have to do it. I mean, you really do. And your defense obviously has to be better. So we're talking about multiple fronts here to improve on. But you have to find a way to start scoring some goals. God, that was such good defense by Svechnikov on that help play, and then he does that. What a bummer. Big power play. We are puck drops on the power play right there. Nope, it was a false start. Hold on. Trying to give you guys a better sense of where I am in the game. Well, all right. We're really holding off on this faceoff. Here we go. And it's drop. Oh, do they get possession? They don't. It's an early clear for Carolina. And immediately you have doubts about this power play because of how good Carolina defends how well Carolina defends the blue line typically on these penalty kills. And now they're going to be able to set up on it. Yep. Yep. Denied at the blue line. This is what we're talking about. It is hard to score goals when you struggle getting shots. I'm with you. And I've been fascinated by this Montreal team. I've been really bullish on how good they are. And yes, in this series, I didn't expect them to come out on top. But to watch them really struggle to create offense in really all 3 rounds, in a sense, not the goal totals themselves exactly, but the shot totals in the biggest games have not been what you want to see. And shot totals don't tell you everything about a game, but trends like this, hard to ignore. All right, and again, they're going to try to break through the blue line, and again, it's not with possession. All right, they still recover, though. And look at the aggression on this penalty kill. Oh, off the post awkwardly. Yeah, this is so aggressive. And the Habs aren't moving the puck quick enough. They need it. That had to happen right away to Caulfield. Oh, Demidov, sorry. That's a great save. That's a great early save. And a big clear. I hope things get better for you. They just put up a stat on Sportsnet that the Habs only had 43 shots over the last 3 games. Yeah, no, it's been egregious. And we talked about this, right? Going into this series, the possession merchants of the Canes, they outshoot everyone by a billion versus a team that has showed us that when Bone hits Marrow, they can't get in the offensive zone and get multiple attempts. I mean, they've won 2 game 7s. Let's give them their respect, but it's a little ugly. One 183. I don't know how to say your name. Hello, how are you? Direwolf, I'm pretty bullish on the Canes at this point. I would hate to see Vegas get another one. I really would. Montreal skill players are small in stature, and I'm getting tired and beat up at this point in the playoffs. Very possible. Oh, this is a good entry, though. Hold that point, Pete. I want to talk about that for a second. Oh, I mean, I don't hate that play. Deno saying, screw it, puck to the net. If you don't have anything, that's better than nothing. It's aggressive by Anderson. I like that too. Ooh, awkward for Dobish, but makes the save. Yeah, Pete. So I have been so critical of the Bruins management of how they're building the roster because it's so based on piss and vinegar and lack of speed, lack of skill. Obviously, part of that is because those speedy skill players aren't really available unless you're getting them through the draft or some really great trades. And when they were as low on assets as they were, hard to actually do anything there. But one of the reasons I like Montreal so much is because of how fast and skilled they are. But they haven't married the forechecking, board winning physicality style with that skill yet, and that's going to limit their ceiling. And it gives me a little hope that they're not going to be like some juggernaut for 10 years, right? Because 2 weeks ago you asked me about this team, and I'm terrified of them. Still pretty scared of them, honestly. Habs have played almost twice as many games as Carolina at this point, which will add to the exhaustion factor. Yeah. And I think we saw that in game one. The rust was the most important thing in that game. And then game 2, 3, and 4, the rest was the most important thing. I mean, that's a good Montreal defensive play there. Yeah, I think I need to. Lunary. Okay. I appreciate it. Having an awesome time. I hate watching the Habs downfall. Sorry to let you accept the best for you. And look, I'm being whitey. The last few weeks are fine. It's just, you being an adult and work and life is just a lot. Um, and I'm excited for the finals matchup, which does look like it's going to be Canes Vegas. What a pass! Oh, great opportunity in tight there. Oh, this oh, I'm surprised by how open this has been the last couple of minutes. Not a ton of shots, but opportunity. It is over. Vegas has us locked up no matter what happens this series. Really? You think so? I mean, Vegas is playing great, but I think the Canes are capable. I think it comes down to Carter Hart, and obviously the Avalanche's health, big benefit to Vegas as well. But Carter Hart just turned it on that series. Huge difference maker for them, especially for a guy who really struggled earlier in the season. That is not going to be a popular cup winner, I'll tell you that much if they do win. I mean, these face-offs are really contentious. It feels like it's taking 3 or 4 players to win a face-off battle right now. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, offsides. Yeah, that Claude Lemieux stuff is crazy, man. I just can't believe it. A couple of days after such an incredible moment for the guy. Man, mental health, man. It's just bullshit. It's bullshit. Bullshit. It's really sad. I am excited for this draft too because I think that look, this is maybe wishful thinking, but I think the Bruins could move into the top 5 if they really wanted to. I really think they could without giving up Hagens or Dean. And if If Reed is there at 4 when the Blackhawks are up, I am absolutely trying to move up. But I think Reed will go second. Um, and that's kind of I mean, I would call San Jose because if a deal around Zaka, Toronto's unprotected 2028 with the assumption that it's going to be a 2028, the Bruins pick this year, and then Lori, like I'm stepping on the trade video I'm doing, but I think that's if there's some sort of package like that that avoids some of our better prospects, where San Jose goes, no, 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 we're making the next step. We should be in the playoffs next year. Like this is the next step for us. If a package like that could get the second overall, I kind of do it in a heartbeat. I don't even think about it. If Reed is there, if Toronto goes, well, I mean, even McKenna actually, either the top two. Now, if it's the Blackhawks pick at 4, similar package to get it done. You're not looking at something super different there, but I need to know that Reed's there. I think that's the only guy because McKenna's going to be gone, and Stenberg I think might be the best player in this draft, but I out of positional need, I don't know if I give up all those assets to grab Stenberg. I don't know. It's just weird. It's an odd exercise, thought exercise. Praying for the downfall of Carter Hart. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I don't want to see Carter Hart lift a cup by any means. I'm surprised Montreal coming in with 3 guys coming over the line, 3 guys in front of them, and just settling for a distance shot. Part of the problem. Maybe like Ryan Lynn. Yeah, I'm not super educated yet on him. Oh, we're fine. Everything's fine. Canes break out. I mean, Jarvis is so good getting the puck deep. I've been looking a bit at the top of the draft out of just sheer excitement, even though the Bruins aren't there. But like getting a St. Louis pick at 15 or Washington pick at 16 would be much easier, and drafting Ryan Lynn would be great, in my opinion. I think it's actually, I mean, is it cheaper to get into the middle of the first round than the top of it? Obviously, but I don't think Washington or St. Louis are interested in giving up first round picks. I think they're really because both of those teams are towards like the end of an era or rebuilding in between those two. I'd have a hard time seeing them move off of their first rounders. And look, it's wishful thinking to think the Bruins can move into the top 5 as well. But I've been kind of looking at trade stuff, and I've mapped out most of what I think we would do in the West with some interesting names in there. And then tomorrow I'm working on the East, and we'll put out a video on that. A little long form video. I'll make sure to put timestamps in it, of course. It's a big face-off win by Montreal. And again, they need to find some offensive zone time. They need to create some traffic in front of the net. And this is a great opportunity to do it. This is a nicely forming. You have a really nicely forming transition into the offensive zone. You hit the red line, you take a 0 angle shot on net. I know we like pucks to the net, but you had 2 pass options there. And Carolina again, so responsible. And in tight again. There it is. Score! Score! Is that wait, who got it? And my screen froze. Awesome. Awesome. What up, Stealthy Potatoes? Is it the GOAT? Is it Taylor Hall? Wow, my screen's like frozen. The universe hates me. But that's okay. I mean, again, I want to point back to Montreal's last possession. What did they do? They had a 4v3. They get the puck down the left side. He hits the goal line. He's got a play to make towards the slot, although it's well covered. So, okay, let's not force it. He could wrap it around. He's got a guy on the opposite wall. You could create possession. He shoots it into the side of the net from 0 angle. I mean, This is self-inflicted. This is self-inflicted nonsense. Well, I don't know. They're talking about goaltender interference? Great song choice. Uh-oh. That's a lot of contact in the blue paint. That goaltender interference. That is coming back. Look at that. It ain't on Hall, but Stankoven, if he scores there, if Stankoven scores, that's fine. I never get these wrong. I never get these wrong. What? I never get these wrong. What? Stankoven drives it unless they're awarding the goal to Stankoven. That's that's a ton of contact in the blue paint by a player who did not score, who got there of his own accord. I never get these wrong. What the hell? I'm so mad. I am not incorrect here. What? I can't. That's crazy. I I'd love to know their reasoning. I really would. And yeah, Stankoven's just a. I really love that player. It's kind of weird to say, but I feel like oh, Dallas, Carolina, and wait, who was the other team involved? And Colorado, the Rantanen saga. I feel like everyone's pretty happy with how it worked out for them. I know golden interference is my thing. I can't believe I got it wrong. I never get those wrong. I honestly sometimes when I do get it wrong, which is rare, but when I do get it wrong, I could go, okay, I see what they're looking at. I don't know what their reasoning is. I'm shocked. I mean, I don't feel bad for him either. I am shocked. Dovish could still reasonably stop the puck by just putting his pad on the ice. I mean, that's Chief. I'm with you. That has to be their only reason, right? And look at how fluidly Carolina enters the offensive zone on the power play. Think about how hard the Habs had to work just to get something into the offensive zone during their power play. And Carolina, just a machine, man. I mean, this team, I feel like when you talk about a team knowing who they are, Montreal knows who they are right now, right? We're in the playoffs of a season. But few teams can match Carolina for we basically know all these guys in the room. We're very used to all of them. We've been many of them been here for years. Rod's plan is the plan, you know. They just very much know their identity. What up, No Shield? Yeah, Montreal needs to. I mean, needs a last gasp or something. This is a lame way to go out. Yeah, a little bit of controversy for sure. If it wasn't a 3-1 series, it probably feels more controversial, right? As we all kind of sit here and just assume the series is over. I mean, look at this. Okay, Montreal does get it back, but that neutral zone defense, just brutal. And that's a kill by the Habs, was necessary. They had to have it. A cup for Taylor Hall would be sick. That's an awful turnover, though. Uh-oh. I thought he was going to do it. I thought Bolduc was going to put that top corner. A little syndicate action. I feel like Stankoven falling on Dobish the way he did caused the balance change. I don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't believe that's not goaltender interference. I'm going to leave that there then. My goodness. A good start to this one. Oh, I know who's texting me for sure. Again, just to remind everyone, I put money on Montreal tonight just to help the Canes finish it out. It's the easiest way for me to help. If I put money on you, something terrible is going to happen to you. Truly, truly terrible. It just feels like everyone's kind of on this side of I don't know why that's not goaltender interference. Pierre LeBrun just the guy drives me nuts, man. He's gonna try to be controversial just for the shits and gigs. He's on Twitter talking about how he wouldn't challenge anything for goalie interference just because the league wants goals to count. Okay, sure, dude. Whatever. Yeah, it must have. They must have just been like, you know what? Stankoven's the attacking player. He puts the puck into the blue paint through a scoring opportunity. And yes, his contact with the goaltender, but it was during a scoring opportunity. So maybe they're leading in on that. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. I'm going to get over it. I mean, I'm not upset about it by any means. And again, Carolina doubling up Montreal in shots. And look at this. You've got Carolina with 4 guys on the blue line, but it still makes sense for the current position of the puck. Like, this is just. Oh! Dobish! We're fine. Everything's fine. Everyone relax. Taylor Hall is the only positive good for him if the Canes win it all. Absolutely. And I mean, I am rooting for the Canes to win the cup this year. It's about time, you know? Also, Montreal losing means it's another year that I get to continue to tell people that the only reason that a Canadian team hasn't won the cup in my lifetime is because of me. The day I was born, the universe said, this man will never witness a Canadian team lift the Stanley Cup. My mother said I was born on some sort of holy date, but I think that's what the holiness really is just preventing Canada from winning Stanley Cups. Pierre LeBum. It was a 3-on-1, and it's just gonna deke into Dobish. That's right, 1993. Don't steal all my credit card information with my birth date somehow. I don't know how the internet works. Yep, the Habs won in the spring of 93. I was born in the late summer of 93, and ain't no Canadian team since has even touched a cup. They are just flying by this Montreal defense. Shots are 12-3, 7:12 left on the clock. They're about to drop the puck. And Freddie Anderson, who isn't facing a lot, is still playing great. Well, here we go. Interference. Svetch again? Oh, he's gonna. Rod the Bod's gonna tear into him. Canadian team hasn't won the cup since the NHL team moved to Dallas. Ooh. Interesting. I was in Montreal the day after they won the cup, slightly older than you. They trashed the city so bad. I mean, you gotta. Dobish checks Svetch. And Svetch gets the penalty. Ah, yeah. Sorry, No Shield. You had to witness a Canadian Cup. I find out early next week if I'm able to go to dev camp this year. Typically, I mean, I always make sure I'm available for it, but because my honey, I was off work for almost, I mean, for 3 weeks, almost a month, really, not too long ago. That I don't know if my boss is going to be super chill with that. The 1994 Expos of the GOAT. Yeah, this is an insane penalty call. A shorty would be so funny. Okay, never mind. Yeah, sorry, No Shield. Good looking though, you know. That's yeah. I mean, I can't believe that this is. Although I guess the Canes just got a nice call in their favor, which is a goal. So right again, this is the thing: is the Habs they get to the blue line, they toss it back. Carolina's already set up. It's going to be a contested and different. And the Habs win it out this time. 50 seconds left in the power play. Nice puck movement up on the glove side wall. Doesn't have a lot of options. There's no movement from the left D side. I mean, they're not even creating passing lanes. When it's going south, the goalie can just touch anyone in the crease, kind of. That's one of the few things I would really change about the league is I think goaltenders are given a little too much leeway. It's still a physical sport. Texier. That's not what you want to see. Good intercept though. Yeah, you're not usually winning that against Slavin. Good luck though. Uh-oh. Oh, still two back? And Dobish. Okay. That's another failed power play opportunity. Not getting a shot on net, barely getting any time in the zone, and honestly, best scoring opportunity of it all was when the penalty expired and the Canes are coming down. Man, I mean, again, whoever said the Habs need to get their shit together, this is brutal to watch. Stankover made a hockey play to the net, and the contact with Dobish had no bearing on his ability to play his position and the Taylor Hall goal going in. Per NHL on TNT situation room. Huh. I mean, their reasoning is sound. I disagree, but their reasoning is sound. Huh. I'm going to need another beer. All right, guys. Early predictions for next year's Cup winner. Kane's buddy is complaining about the goaltender interference makeup call. I think you're doing all right, you know? And it being Taylor Hall is obviously great. I feel gross wearing my Senator shirt, but this was a gift. And it was because we used the Senators when we played a NHL season. Me and my boy did. So Sabres immediately. Welcome back, Jack. How are you doing? Jack, I gotta ask you. I mean, obviously, Racer Bruins. Jack, I gotta ask you: is watching this series frustrating as like a Sabres fan? Because do you think you would have been better prepared for this series than Montreal has looked, or is it a man? We're a long way away. We need to improve massively in some ways. I'm just curious your thoughts. Any chance of a puppy appearance tonight? Yes, absolutely. Although I guess it's not a puppy anymore, but you know what I mean. Boston now then was hoping Canada could get the cut back. Not going to happen. Vegas has it in 6 this year. God, I hope it's not Vegas. I really hope it's not Vegas. I'd be very happy with the Canes, even though it would hurt in my personal relationships. Oh, stink! Putting some stink on it. Taylor Hall with the primary assist too. Good there. Look at this. 13-3 in shots. 2-0 Carolina. And Stankoven. Look at this board work. Goes right through the stick. And what a shot. McKinnon revenge tour. If Colorado's healthy, I don't see a reason they shouldn't be in the picture at the end of the year. Anyone on the back of your shirt, or is it just a logo on the front? So we played a season of chill with the Senators, and our favorite guys we gave colored visors to. And so then we just started this joke about the visor guys, and then they needed a nickname. So they were the visor womanizers, which nobody thought was funny but us, to be clear. So it says 69 visor on the back because I am a man child and I like to enjoy life. So hate watching has been great. Love to hear that. I think the Sabres should have got our bid stopped by but the way they lost in Game 7 was rough. Thought they played better in Game 7 than Montreal. I agree, which I'm pretty sure Tampa feels that way too in that first round. Yeah, definitely some frustration. I can feel you on that. It is kind of Jover already, right? It's hard to see them coming back from 2 down when they only manage like 3 shots a period. This is brutal. And it's not just game plan, I don't think. Unless maybe Marty St. Louis is having his actual pants yanked down around his ankles, but what a freaking shot that was. Yeah, my wife didn't find it super funny. But you know. Oh, good save by Freddie. I mean, this is important. You're late in the first period. You've built a 2-goal lead. You've been the better team by far. If Montreal gets 1, it feels like you're right back in it in these next 3.5 minutes. But there's also the other side of that coin. Montreal feels like they need one. And they haven't been able to get any sort of transition offense going, which is exactly what we talked about early in the game. Yeah, there's no one there. There's no one there. There's no support. There's no movement. Is this a breakaway? Well, that's not going to help. Rod, the bod, is feeling it right now. Hall's been a monster these playoffs. Yeah, he's been awesome. Who was that? Have just looked checked out, being both mentally and physically at this point. The mentally is really starting to seep through, it looks like. Is that Chatfield making that assist? What a play. Robinson, yeah. Wow. Scar! Do you think they pulled Dobish? Like, this isn't Dobish's fault, but no, it's Carrier. Okay. This is so funny, man. Wow. This is going poorly for the Habs. I don't know if you guys realize this. The Sabres can improve with a true number 1 goalie like a Hellebuck, someone the Sabres can rely on. I mean, there's some trades to be made out there, I think, for goaltending. I don't know about Hellebuck, but you know what I mean. All right. How does Montreal come back here? Shots are 16-4. They can't create. Oh my gosh, they can't pass tape to tape. They're not supporting each other on the walls. They're not moving the puck quickly. They're just blindly turning it over. This is crazy. Almost feel sorry for the Habs. Somebody smacked me. Yeah, you don't got to feel sorry for them. Also, remember this team's super young. The Habs should feel pretty good about an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, I would say. Yeah, I think if Jack, I think if the Sabres had a like real number one, the kind of guy that's going to steal you a game or two in a series, I think the situation changes drastically for them. This is what Game 7 of the Buff and Habs series should have been. I feel you. Same with Tampa. And look at Carolina's right back to work. They're not taking their foot off the gas at all. They're down below the goal line, up to the blue line. Down below the goal line. They turned it over there, but still, they're going to keep the movement going. Yeah, I really like Taylor Hall. I'm bummed that he's no longer a Bruin. What are the odds we get a "We Want Vegas" chant at some point tonight from Canes fans? Freddie Anderson's gonna be so cold for Vegas. Yeah, he's faced like 70 shots this whole series. Actually, how many shots has he faced this series? Now I kind of want to know. 45 seconds left in the period. Like, uh, wait, no way. Hold on. This can't be right. If I just counted correctly, Freddie has faced 65 shots total in the first 4 games. That would bring his total in the series to 69. Nice. That's nuts. He's going to face less than 100 shots through this whole series. Is it 68? Okay, maybe I miscounted. I'm not smart, but yeah. How many has Dobish faced? I'm going to assume 140. So someone do the math on Dobish. Hold on 1 second. And a block. They have a chance for the slot. 4 seconds left. And it's blocked. Wow. It looks like Anderson has that anyway, but still. Let's say 69 is funnier. Hell yeah. I mean, there's got to be some sort of. I mean, modern game record. I think it might be. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna grab another beer and a dog. I'll be right back. Okay, now I have to grab the dog. And dog. Look at the camera. Look at what you're doing. He's wearing a shirt because he has like a belly issue right now, but it's fine. Larry, you don't seem very happy about this. You don't seem very happy. He's very serious right now. But this is Larry, and he's little, and he's cute, and he's not sure what's happening. But he's little. They're saying hello to you. They're saying hello. Your tail's wiggling. Yeah, this is my little guy. He's stinky and he's small, but we love him. All right. And you are ripping ass, too. All right, come on. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'll be right back. Thank you, good boy. And yes, you did earn a kick. What? Yeah, it's really not good. I might go and schedule for surgery for the day after we're back. Can we schedule a blood draw before that then? Excellent. You guys be good. I'm gonna go back to my stuff fitting. Yep, that's little Larry. He's a weird dog. And Velma was struggling to get off the couch, so she's not going to come join us right now. Velma, unfortunately, which we already knew, does have to go in for her surgery on the other leg. She already had surgery on the right side, her back right leg, but she had partial tears on her CCLs for both her hind legs, which is not that surprising for a dog of her stature. But we did one. We have to do the second now. They have the option of doing them both at the same time, but the risk factors, I'm talking to the surgeon, the risk factors from you do one leg, the complication rate is about 5% complication on that surgery. And then if you do a bilateral, both of them at the same time, the rehab and the recovery is longer and far more difficult because they're basically down in rear. They can't use their hind legs basically at all. But the complications for a procedure like that go up to about 15%. And the difference between 5%, which is 1 in 20, and 15%, which is right around 1 in 6. Yeah, that was too much for me to go like, yeah, that sounds great. No, we'll leave that. All right. I think Ella is Velma. I think that's who you're referring to. Who cares if Freddie Anderson is resting for the final of the Canes and Montreal's hope this year is all that matters. For math is correct, Dobish has faced 151 shots through the series, including the 15 shots in this game. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for all the love to Larry. He's a good little guy. He's not, actually. He's a terrible dog, but we love him anyway. Montreal effectively icing Anderson for Vegas would be pretty funny and just a great way for the Canes to lose out on the cup. Sure, but also going into this series, you could probably say the same thing because Anderson hadn't faced a shot in 13 days. And then, of course, gets absolutely smoked in game 1. Yeah, Larry doesn't really care for the Canes at all. Just won't want Tortorella to win anything. Larry is the man. Torts and Carter Hart are both guys that I'm not really interested in. Eichel having 2 championships before McDavid gets 1 would be hilarious.
I'm letting the babies out really fast. If they start barking, I am going to try.
Yeah, absolutely. They know. Appreciate it. The dogs are going to go run around the backyard, so you might hear some barking. Yeah, I feel bad for Velma. I really do. She's a good girl, and she's just not having the best time. The more I hear, the less I think Sabres re-sign Tuck. Really? I mean, again, they would have to get creative, but... Oh, that was your autocorrect. I get it. Yeah, that's tough. Because I think Tuck's worthwhile. I know he had a bad playoffs this year, but he's a great player. I would be shocked if this was just like a playoff issue with him. Eichel, Conn Smythe. Yeah. I mean, poor McDavid. I genuinely feel bad for McDavid. I really do. Because he had the poor fortune of ending up on a franchise that is so poorly run that you have what a modern day Wayne Gretzky would probably look like. I know this is all speculation, but it's probably not far from the truth. And you can't win a cup. You know, you made it 2 cup finals, which is great, right? But it feels like every year you need a superhuman series from both McDavid and Draisaitl just to have a chance in the series. Not even to like win, just have a chance because of how bad the supporting roster, the goaltending, and how inappropriate some of the contracts they're giving out are. They waste cap space. They waste assets like crazy. They trade things for players who aren't positive needle movers. Edmonton is so incredibly poorly run. And McDavid's sitting there going, McDavid could probably run the team better than who he's had so far. Marner should get it if he continues any sort of strong play in the finals and Vegas wins. It should pretty easily be Marner's at this point. Although he's not far ahead of Eichel is behind him by 3 points. And then it's Quinn Hughes, who hasn't been playing for weeks. Kaprizov, who hasn't been playing for a while. Tage, who hasn't played for a minute. McKinnon, who hasn't played for a minute. Lane Hudson. Yeah, so it's Suzuki and down. Like, no one outside of Marner or Eichel is still active. I mean, assuming that Montreal gets wiped out here. Wow, the top 10 for points so far in the playoffs. Marner, Eichel, both still playing. Suzuki, Hughes, Kaprizov, Thompson, McKinnon, Hudson, Dahlin, all either done or about to be done. Dorofeyev, who's still playing. That's crazy. And basically what it is, you go into the next series and you're like, if Freddie can continue to be awesome and he's great in that series and Canes win, it's Freddie's. Because there's not a forward on the Canes outside of a disastrous series by Freddie in the finals. There's no one of the Canes that's going to take that from him, it looks like. I'd rather keep Benson and Byram than Tuck long-term and take Tuck's money to find a goalie and a right-shot D-man. Yes, I don't disagree with that at all if you had to, like, decide between them. You're going to have to give something up for a goalie. Screw it. Let's do this right now. It's the intermission. We can do whatever we want. Let's take a look over here for Jack. We're gonna play GM for the Buffalo Sabres real quick. So let's say Tuck's not sticking around, but you guys need a goalie. You're not going to get. Actually, I think I can just share this too. Oh, let's make that a lot bigger. Yeah. What you're not going to get is a bunch of options in free agency. Yeah, Carey Price. That's a oh my God, I forgot Bobrovsky might be available. He might be moving on. But other than that, you're not fixing that in free agency. So then where are we going for a new goaltender? Anaheim doesn't have 2 to give up. Neither does Calgary. Edmonton certainly doesn't. LA, San Jose, Seattle, Vancouver, Vegas. None of those have real options. Chicago doesn't. Colorado. Interesting. Maybe a deal for one of these guys. Do either of the Woods get your Wood going? That was a really bad job by me. Freddie was looking shaky at the start of the series, and Vegas will definitely pepper a lot more shots under than Montreal has. And I think a lot of that was rust, though. I do. And yes, I do think Freddie will look worse in the finals than he has looked in this series just out of pure, ability from the other team. But I'm not so confident that he'll completely fall apart. Bob Coxey isn't signed yet. If the Panthers suddenly don't have a goaltender, that's crazy. Kevin, if you're about to say Swayman, I mean, what is this? What is Boston without Swayman right now? Truly, what is Boston without Swayman right now? Because there's a lot of distance we can go down. It's quite the cliff. So you got the Woods. I don't believe Dallas is back up. I can't remember. Yeah, DeSmith. So Minnesota does have 2. Is there a deal for a Wallstedt or Gustafsson? One of those guys is probably Wallstedt is in Edmonton by the beginning of next year, right? Bob Luxky? Oh, I thought you were going the Cuck route. All right. Either Colorado goalies would be an instant upgrade. I think so too. And I think they'd be affordable to get, whereas Wallstedt and Gustafsson, you're spending a lot of money you're spending a lot of assets trying to get them. Nashville, if they move on from Saros, but there's a lot of questions about Saros' game the past couple of years. St. Louis, you could probably get Binner from St. Louis. I don't know if you want Binner, but Hofer kind of took the starting job late in the season. Utah, I don't think you're getting much out of. Winnipeg's not moving on from Hellebuck and certainly doesn't have everyone behind them. Carolina doesn't. I mean, you could talk about a Bussy or a Kuchetkov, but I don't think either of those guys are really going to be huge upgrades for you guys. Columbus has their guy, doesn't have a backup really. Merzlikins isn't going to be an upgrade for you. New Jersey doesn't have an upgrade for you. New York. I mean, these both, you're talking about having their 1As and then a pretty, okay backup. Philly is relying on Dan Vladar and just hoping he can do the same thing next year that he did this year. Pittsburgh, absolutely not. Washington, absolutely not. Boston has Swayman. Detroit has 8 goalies. None of them are good, but they have 8 of them. Man, not a lot of options we're looking at here. Although Toronto makes for an interesting trade partner because you could definitely talk yourself into a Stolars or Joseph Wall rebound. And Hildeby in moments looked like he was decent. Did you cut your dreadlocks? No. I don't think I could rock dreadlocks. I don't want to think about the Bees without sway. That's some previous year #1 draft pick territory. Yeah, that's truly correct. Devin Levi, I just haven't thought of in like a year and a half. Good news for Buffalo is that goalies almost never get traded for fair value. Ole had like 3 All-Star seasons, including a Vezina win, and the package from Ottawa is underwhelming. Yes. And it's because goaltenders are so volatile. I always talk to people about this, where if you're going to trade Swayman, you're not getting the value back that you probably should. DiPietro, Providence has won goalie of the year in the AHL last 2 seasons. If that's who you're referring to and a team believes he could take that step, then absolutely. Absolutely. Talk about Lukanen or Lyon rather UPL because he is making $5 million. Yeah, you probably do need to make a move there. That is a lot of money for a guy that you're not going to trust anymore. Matthews to the Sabres. So get Mikey and throw Lysell in. Oh. DiPietro and Lysell. Well, what would that look like? And I think my stream died because I'm just going to stop sharing there for a second. What are you actually getting, though, is the question there now for Boston's side. Because you could do a sign and trade with Tuck, but giving up Mikey and Lysell just because they signed him for you that feels unfair to the Bruins. That's a lot of assets for a guy that was going to hit free agency who you might have been able to get anyway. Shoot, I would take Malenstein, though. I mean, that's a 4th liner, but still. The problem with creating a trade, and I actually have to figure out a trade between Buffalo and Boston for this video that I want to do this weekend. But the problem is when a team is trying to be competitive, and you're also trying to be competitive, somebody has to be on the side of my team probably gets a little worse making this trade, right? So what the Bruins would probably be doing is they could do DiPietro and Lysell for the rights to Kesselring, who's an RFA. Man. And they would need to shed more salary. Buffalo probably wants to shed some more salary. So, man, this is actually a really difficult team to find something here because you guys don't want us to get rid of Ostland or Hellenius. Those are young, good players. We're not going to purposely bring in the $4 million Greenway because that guy's probably making a little bit more than he should. And we already have a ton of role guys for our bottom six. This is a difficult trade to make. In 2 to 3 years, Lysell will be starting a long and prosperous career in the SHL. You're probably right. I've defended Lysell for a long time, but it just hasn't panned out. So I won't give up on if there's a certain attribute that belongs in the NHL. That's where I really struggle to let go of somebody. Trade enough away, get Byram locked up, and tell Benson we'll lock you next year. Sign Tuck, lose enough money, and sign Tuck and trade for a goalie. So, McLeod would be a great addition, but I think Buffalo really wants to keep McLeod. The problem, or not the problem, Jack, I think you are onto something because I think Benson probably signs a prove-it deal, 2 years, moderate money, nothing super low, but unless you guys are going the Montreal route where you're like, I'm going to sign you to an $8.5 million deal now because in 2 years, that's going to be an absolute steal. That's a big bet, though. All right, we're back in it. We're 15 seconds into the second period. So here's the trick for Montreal. You ready for this? They need to start scoring goals and stop. I can't believe that didn't get in the net. And stop Carolina from scoring goals. I need a replay of how that did not get in the net. Oh my god! Montreal takes a very dumb penalty. It was 3-on-1 on the wall, and they still took a penalty. What are we doing, boys? Look at this. Yep, you or 2-on-1 on the wall. I counted Gooley down there, but wow, what an insanely dumb play. And yeah, look at this. Big save. Oh, that was almost 4-0. Montreal scores goals, they'll win. How many goals? Because at this rate, they're going to need 11. Lysell could get any kind of NHL runway. He might actually make it. Maybe in Chicago or something where they need any kind of depth. Yeah, it's definitely a change of scenery thing, though. Because the Bruins are not going to stop asking him to play a responsible 200-foot game, which I think was a mistake early in his development, and they should have leaned into his strengths a little bit. You can't be an absolute liability defensively, but you also, oh my goodness, if that pass makes it through. I lost my train of thought, but there are guys like Pasta, and now Lysell was never going to be Pasta, but that are not going to be good defensively. And you have to accept that for the strengths that they bring. And, I mean, the Bruins haven't developed anyone in forever. It's time to really take a look at that. Right, pretty good penalty kill so far by Montreal. The final is going to be fun. I hope it goes 7. I do hope the finals go 7. Here's the trick for Montreal. Just keep losing. I mean, I wouldn't even say Marty St. Louis hasn't said anything to him in the locker room. He might have said a ton. It's just, this is truly like, hey, welcome to the real world kind of moment where They just aren't good enough. They're getting smacked. I fear for Hagens. I don't. I don't. Because, oh, little 3-on-2 action there. Still settled for a long distance shot. Hagens in the AHL was not in a well, he didn't perform like he was ready for the NHL. That was scary. Uh, but then they signed him anyway. They move him on, all this stuff. We watched him in the NHL. He didn't look great. I didn't think he was terrible, but he didn't look great. And now people are talking about him at the Worlds and how he's not great, but he had to look better at center. He's going to need some development. It's going to take a minute. And yeah, maybe he's not a franchise saving 1C, which is 7th overall. Maybe didn't exist for us, right? But I don't know. I'm not going to get worried about it until he's halfway through next season. And if he hasn't progressed at all, I'll be like, ee. But if he gets like 40, 45 points next year and is on a good development path, great. Sometimes it takes these top 10 picks a couple of years in the league to get comfortable and be great. Remember, there's only a couple success stories from every draft that hit the NHL and are good right away, you know, or even good in the first couple of years. At least Montreal dies trying, unlike the Bruins. I would disagree with that. I thought the Bruins fought till the end. Bruins desperately need to completely overhaul the development structure or lack thereof. I think it needs an aggressive look. I agree. It needs an aggressive look because, again, you haven't developed anyone in basically a decade. Maybe more? Oh my God, maybe more? Can't believe in a couple of weeks it'll be the 15th anniversary of the Bruins Stanley Cup win in Vancouver. Damn. Yeah. Huge opportunity. Do we got a double? Do we got a double? I had a feeling the game going into overtime in Game 7, the Habs would win because they seem to somehow find the back of the net. They're very opportunistic. He did lift it into his own face. He did lift it into his own face, but you have to. And for your mental health, Montreal has to get a goal here. Haven't developed anyone since Bruce was in Providence. I literally can't think of the last player the Bruins developed through Providence. I mean, even Pasta only spent a couple. I don't think he was down there long at all. A few games. And these shots from distance, like again, get pucks to the net, and then you toss it to the wrong corner. It's a lack of details, man. What do you think is the lowest acceptable amount of points for Hagens next season? 30? Acceptable amount of points. It just depends on what line he's playing on, I guess. But he should probably be a third liner next year. So yeah, 30 is probably the bare minimum for me, but 30 has to be with like 14 goals. Like nearly half of them have to be goals. Oh, the net was open. Oh, he couldn't get a stick to it. Finally, Taylor Hall will make the finals. Not the worst first overall pick in the history of the game. I think Hagens will be fine. I just do not trust the ability to develop offensive talent. That is very valid, and I'll agree with that. This is another good penalty kill by the Canes, but there was opportunities there that they just could not capitalize on. And on the first rush, make it through. No back pass. There we go. You push, you get it deep when they're all lined up on the wall. You passed it right back to them up the wall. If they're behind you, what does that mean they're covering? My God. These are some brain dead plays that Montreal's making. Maybe you guys are right. Maybe it completely mentally just, they're out. They don't have it. How are we supposed to know Hagen's projected points next season when we don't know yet what position he'll be playing and who he's playing with? Yeah, no, I totally get that. But if he's on the third line, then I want him to be a producer in a third of the games he plays. And I think that's fair for a guy with the talent that he has. Trent Frederick can count as a developed prospect. Technically, probably, right? I forget how many games he played in the AHL, but he had some decent support years with us, but boy, did that fall apart. And it was really just a year and a half that he was decent. Yeah, Sway was barely down there as well. But also, Sway is goalie Bob, right? Like, maybe I'm being unfair, but I don't consider the goaltenders part of that because goalie Bob starts working with those guys basically right away. Jack, I am sorry. You're just drowning and watching Montreal be terrible and wondering how your team did not win this. But imagine me, who my team lost to the team that lost to the team that's playing terribly right now. Frederick did not have the skill, and now he's oh my gosh, he's just a contract on a team that nobody's happy about. That's a great find. You got to shoot that. I mean, I guess that was a shot, but you got to let that rip with confidence. And now it's a 3-on-2 the other way. Look at that tape-to-tape pass. And the rebound. It's a game of effort right now. This is a game of effort, and Montreal is getting skated off the ice. Wow. Dude, this is crazy. Score! Yeah. That Hall line, man. Look at the maturity from Jackson Blake. He's got that open net. His heart's going crazy. Here we go. Let me slide it 5 hole. Beauty. Can we get a live collaboration with your Canes buddy for the finals? Maybe. 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 Yeah, I think they might have given up. This is not enough effort from the Habs, frankly. Wait, do we have a chance to be the ultimate losers? Lost to Buffalo, who lost to Montreal, who lost to the Canes. If the Canes lose to Vegas, yeah. I did want a good game, too. This is a bit of a bummer. Hall is going nuclear. He deserves this, too, though. I don't think the Sabres would have beat the Canes with how many turnovers the Sabres give up. Yeah, no, I think it was a sheep to a lion, no matter who came out of that series, probably. But still, it's such a feel-good year for the Sabres in general. So it's like game 4 in Boston. Yeah, that's what it does look like. Although I feel like you guys reached 4 goals faster than the Canes did. Sorry, my head's starting to hurt me. Wow. It's not even halfway through the second either. Yikes. I hope Hall isn't it back to the finals. And if that line has anything to say, I mean, they've been cooking. By the way, Carolina is scary because if they finally get over the hump, and especially if they win a cup, they get that confidence. It's gonna take injuries or some poor puck luck to wipe them out in the first 2 rounds of the next like 3 or 4 years of playoffs. This is brutal. Also, by the way, the Canes winning this game have a chance to do something that no team has ever done in the history of the league. If they win this game and they go on to the cup final, they have a chance to do something that no team has ever done. Does anyone have a guess as to what that might be? Jump on the Marner bandwagon just to spite the Leafs. It would be very funny, but also really don't want Carter Hart or Torts winning the cup. I feel like that's fair. This game is great for me. I live in Quebec, and Habs fans would be insufferable if they win. That's a fan base that's tough to deal with when they're great. They truly are. That's right. Zach was first to type it 12-1. They'd be the first team in the finals, if they sweep, 16-1. The best record in a 4-series finals or 4-series playoffs is 16-2. Vegas looks great. I'm not assuming. And remember, the Leafs lose either way because if Vegas wins the cup, it's very likely that Marner gets the Conn Smythe. If Carolina wins the cup, it's very likely that Freddie Anderson gets the Conn Smythe. 2 ex-Leafs, 2 guys who are part of the problem. Yes, in the modern era 7-game series. So, but I also think I think that 4 rounds is the most important part of that. What came first, 7-game series or 4 rounds? You know, Toronto's never done that. They've never won. I don't think they've ever won 3 rounds of hockey in 1 year. I think all of their cups came when there was just 2 rounds. Can Canes beat Vegas, though? That's the question. Truly. Truly. I think it's a good series either way. I mean, Montreal doesn't know what to do. Look at this. They're just throwing the puck away. Truly, like the Leafs lose no matter what happens. And they, of course, have the first overall pick, so I guess they'll be fine, but will they? Billy rooting for the Habs. I mean, this is a pretty pathetic way to go out. The Leafs, over 100 years franchise, they have never played a hockey game in the month of June. That's true, too. 4 games came first. Okay. I couldn't remember. I appreciate that. And yeah, I don't really want to hear anything about their first 2 opponents because hey, this is professional hockey at a playoff level. Like Flyers, Senators, whatever. That's crazy to go 8-0 through the first 2 rounds. Canes fans chanting "Ole." Love to see it. Love to hear it. When he goes far to say I'm rooting for the Habs. All right. I mean, fair. Leafs are a very sad team. Yummy. Skeet. Oh, skeet. Oh, it's a party in Carolina. And it's the Canes, so no one can even imagine them blowing a 4-goal lead when they're doubling up the shots of the other team. Montreal's 7 shots through 30 minutes. Again, by the way. Only team in the history of the NHL to win a Game 7 with less than 10 shots, I believe. I feel you, Jack. God, imagine how different that first round series is if the Bruins don't blow a 2-goal lead with like 7 minutes left. And when I say imagine how different it is, it might go 7. I don't think the result changes. And Carolina just breaks out of their zone so easily. They win every battle in the neutral zone. Look at that. And a guy's always going to the opposite wall. They're always prepared for that pass. Montreal has turned the puck over 4 separate times this game that I've watched, passing to the opposite wall, just wrapping around the offensive zone and having no one there. They've done that at least 4 times. Meanwhile, the Canes, they never pass to no one. Canes are exactly what we as Bruins fans envision the Bruins as. Big, bad, tough as hell. You know, I don't know. I don't envision us as the Canes. Like, if you were to tell me, this is going to sound gross, but I've just always had this image in my head of us being what the Florida Panthers were the past couple of years, right? I mean, obviously not these current rosters because I know the skill level isn't there, but that kind of aggression and frankly, cheap shots and a little bit of dirty play, like that's That's the Bruins I grew up with a lot of the time. They just a really aggressive, do what it takes kind of team. Although I guess the Bruins team that I really grew up with when I was super young was just dog shit, but it's a different conversation. Going for Vegas and Marner to get MVP. Toronto's pain was the only thing I got going left in these playoffs. All right, that's valid. But if I really press is how Carolina is still locked in at this point of the game. Yes, yes. And you know what I think is really making a difference there is the fact that they're 1-16 before this series in the last 4 Eastern Conference Finals. I think they're sick of the shit. And they have a clear opportunity. They're the better team. And the whole time they're going to be like, do not take your foot off the gas. We are not letting this go one game longer than it has to. We are, for the first time since 2006, I believe, making the finals. Yeah, I don't think they had a finals trip between the Cam Ward year and now. Did the Habs be one of the few teams to not register 20 shots in an entire series? They had more than 20 shots in game one, didn't they? Did they not? Yeah, they had 22 shots in game one. Thought for sure after the Claude news, the Habs would win this game. Thought they'd look better than this. Tell you that much. 93 forever. Hell yeah. I think the Habs fans made that series loss even worse because they were insufferable. They know how to make you regret talking to them. Yes, the Bruins I think would have taken a pound of flesh, and honestly, I think that was a huge determining factor for the second round series. Is I think Buffalo had a much. That's not true. Tampa really brought it physically to Montreal in round one. I take back what I was just about to say. Bruins usually beat the Canes. I don't know if that's true. I mean, obviously, when we had like Tuca and Bergeron and them, we did. But I don't feel like the past couple of years we've been very good against the Canes. Not since that 2019 sweep. The Canes are super due. Another power play here, and this is great possession, and that's a clever pass. And look it, he knows he can take that shot going far side because he has players on the opposite wall to keep the puck in. Like they're just prepared. And look at them create space right in front. Look at the loose coverage from the Habs. Look, he's skating right around him. Oh, the legs are dead for Montreal. This is very over. All right, they might get a kill here. 7 seconds left. Will they get this cleared down? They won't. Oh, you have to make that play. You got a guy who looks wide open. All right, a kill by the Habs. Oh, did we beat them in 2021? I can't remember that. I mean, that's right. The other I didn't even look at Montreal. Fowler is available potentially if Dobish is going to be the Habs guy. Oh, a real chance for Montreal. Unable to get it past Anderson. And look at the way Carolina forces them back up ice. Look at this pressure. And Newhook backs off there. Wow. Oh, they took that shot away. Did it not get it on net? 2019 may have been 20 years ago. At least, brother. At least. The city gave up after Wednesday. Yeah, 2019 was an awesome series because Tuca, I mean, no matter what the Canes did, Tuca just said, no, absolutely not. It's the series that I was able to, gosh, was this 2019? Yeah, it would have had to be. That would have had to be when me and my Canes buddy were going to go up for a game, and he had to bail last minute. And when I get up there, I'm sitting next to Greg Olson, who was the tight end for the Carolina Panthers at the time, who was my buddy's favorite player. Hilarious. You're surprised Fowler ain't in this game? Really? I mean, Dobish has been good. Oh, you mean right now because of that makes that makes way more sense. Dobish has been good relatively in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't pull him just for a just to try to give the team a jolt. 1-3-1 remains undefeated. Does Montreal have an effective power forward that imposes their will? And I guess Anderson would be the one to do that, but last time I think we won was Bergeron on the team. McAvoy destroys Stahl and Bruins score 3 goals in like next 10 seconds. Those were the days. Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely the last time we beat the Canes, Bergeron was playing. I just remember Tuca absolutely annihilating the Canes that one year. That was a sweep. And that was the St. Louis year because it was somebody swept in the first round. Canes swept that team in the second round. Bruins swept the Canes in the conference finals. And then obviously 7-game series for the finals. But Bruins went into that finals, and the opportunity to sweep St. Louis was absolutely because St. Louis just never seemed like they belonged where they were. But boy, they did, you know? They did. What a wasted chance at a cup. This Hall line is just crazy, man. All right, I don't think they're coming back. Frankly, I think this might be all Canes at this point. An ideal world for Montreal. Slav will be a power forward, but he doesn't use his size as much as you'd want. He doesn't. I think Slav is still trying to find out who he is in this league. And I think he's going to be a very good player. He already is a good player. Columbus swept Tampa. That's right. That was the Columbus-Tampa year where Tampa goes up 3-0 in the first period of game 1. I think it was 3-0. And everyone's like, well, yeah, that makes sense. And then Bob and Panarin and the Columbus Blue Jackets just take over. Just took over. Yeah. Thank God we didn't play this team in the first round. Not sure we scored more than 4 goals in the 4-game sweep of the Bees. Yeah. I can't argue with that. It wouldn't be pretty. We know that the Bruins are a ways away. There's still a lot of work to be done. But hey, that's sports. And the thing is, the Canes for the past 5 years, I mean, more than 5 years he's been on the team, but have had a true 1C, right? In Sebastian Aho. And Svetch never even became the player we thought he could be, right? I thought he was going to chip that in. The Bobs. God, that Columbus team. How fun was that series? Crazy how Bobrovsky was a part of both 2019 against Tampa and 2023 against Boston. He seriously does have some magic. And the guy has 2 Vezinas. He's got 2 cups. He's got some of the biggest playoff moments a goaltender could have. And I still don't think he's that good. And whether that's spite or a real opinion, I can't honestly tell you. 4:05 left of the second period. Montreal trying to do something here. You have to get a goal. You can't go into the third down 4. You have to get a goal here. You need one. These last 340, you need one. Carolina was a clear pick for the East. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And how many times did you hear someone say, if not this year for Carolina, when? You look at the East, and they're getting, the 8th seed in the Senators, who I thought would have put up a better fight, but they're getting one of Philly or Pittsburgh, and neither one of those teams really belong to the playoffs, if we're gonna be honest with ourselves. And again, I'm not taking anything away from the Canes. It's still super impressive what they're doing. And then they get this young Montreal team. And I think Montreal obviously had a chance to make some noise in this series, but you know, so I just think they're very well set up. That is, you kidding? 6 guys. You, crazy. The Russian Bernie. Yeah, Bob does know how to lock in. He absolutely does. Give me that. I think what really bothered me about that Panthers series, amongst many things, like people will forget the injuries. They'll forget the circumstances going into that series, but also every single bounce. I mean, it was crazy. The Bruins had no ability to make the big plays, especially late in the series, and every single bounce went the Panthers' way. I mean, you want to talk about team of destiny. Another huge opportunity for the Canes in front. Wide open again, and they can't capitalize on the backdoor pass. Below the goal line, and it's a good clear. I mean, especially, he does have a max luck stat. It's truly that's what it is. But you think about it, game 7, you are down 2 goals. You come back to take the lead. You have a 1-goal lead with 58 seconds left, and a shot deflects off McAvoy's stick and goes into a 1-inch window above Swayman's shoulder. 58 seconds. Hockey's that sport, man. Just breaks my heart, And look at Carolina just has such an easy time getting set up in this zone. They're in no rush too, right? Like they don't have to score. Putting together a great little possession. Aho with an awesome opportunity. That's a good save. It's going to go back to Aho for a one-timer up at the top. Oh, nope. Here they're closing in. Aho's going to shrink down. Oh, no. They're looking for this Aho shot. They want it. They want it. Yep. It's there. Nope. They're going to shoot. Oh, it's in the net. I don't know why you don't pull Dobish after 3. He's a better goalie. Fine. Your team needs a wake-up call somewhere. This game, it was over before, but holy shit, man. Like, how they can't come back from this. Oh, look, the Red Sox lost again. Gostisbehere having a good little series, too. Score! Every time I see Boston Red Sox 49's comment, you have to say it. Dobish. I hate the close-up of the goaltender who's just getting killed out there. This game's not this is season on the line. You get your teeth kicked in like this. Just crazy. Oh, here we go again. And look at Carolina not taking their foot off the gas. They're going to keep pushing. I would say in the third, they probably start avoiding the boards a little bit, right? Let's stay healthy. Gotta do it for Doc. That's true. They have to play the third. Can't we just move on? I bet the Canes would love that, right? Let's just call it here. No more injuries. Because third period, Sebastian Aho, right, suddenly gets hurt or something. This is a totally different, feeling to this game. This is about as good a look as they're getting, by the way. These shots from distance. It's over, Johnny. Montreal better at least get a fuck your shutty goal. Yeah, I'm okay. Here we go. My prediction is they do. They will score that goal between 3 minutes and 2 minutes and 15 seconds left of the game. In that 45-second window, that's where they break up the shutout. Late in the game. Yeah, Carolina is the big dog in the East. Another face-off loss in the offensive zone by Montreal. And there's never a moment. Look at this. Montreal is never comfortable making a single play. Carolina is hounding them. Yeah. This is poor structure, though. All that distance between that pass. You're welcome for betting on the Habs. You're absolutely welcome. That was $20 well spent. It probably wasn't necessary, but hey, sweep the leg. I never watched Cobra Kai. I feel like I should. I like that play. Get to the net front, see what you can get going, but 9 seconds left. Shoot! One more save. It's looking unfortunate for the Habs. 8-1 final. I think it's going to be a 5-1 final. I think there's just a chill third period where they just the Habs bury one late. Yeah, Montreal has no room. This playoff's a clear sign that seeding needs to be reassessed. First round, great. Then everything else has been less than 6 games. No, I don't have an issue with the current setup. If you want to move to 1 to 8, that's fine. I hate the idea of 1 to 16. I really don't like the thought of having it be so rare that you have your divisional opponents playing each other. I like the fact that there's a familiarity between a lot of teams when they're playing in the playoffs. East versus West is important to me for the finals. I like it that way. I don't have a problem with the current setup. Yes, the second round is usually the weakest round, and occasionally the final is the weakest round, but the first round is the best round in any sport. It's awesome. The conference finals are usually better than what we've gotten this year. It's just kind of the way it works out. And I mean, it's no different in any other sport, I mean, football has blowouts in the Super Bowl every other year, and there's no perfect way to fix that. The NBA had a sweep on one side of the conference finals. Obviously, this is one of the best series ever on the other side, but 6 or 5 of the 6 games so far have been blowouts. So maybe not even one of the best series, I could say. No, 1 to 8 is fine. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't care that much as long as you're keeping the grouping small enough. Because I just hate the idea of 1 to 16. I like there being teams facing each other multiple times in a short span. The Kings and the Oilers meeting each other 4 times in a row in the first round was hilarious to me, and I loved it. Right? It was just fun. So that's the kind of stuff I want to keep. Bees fan in North Carolina. I'm not excited for what I will hear from this result. Oh yeah, but you might get a chance to go to a Stanley Cup Finals game, which is pretty dope. Watching Carolina, Vegas, Colorado this playoffs. You realize how far the Bruins have. Yeah. The Bruins haven't been a contender since that 2022-23 team. When was the last time we've got a first seed versus first seed cup final? Feels like one always falls flat. Shoot, it's probably been a very long time, and I agree. It usually does fall flat. Fall flat is a weird way to put it because when you think about it, a 1 seed. Actually, we can look at this right now. Ooh, I just got to chill, boys. Just got to chill. Standings of the season.
Your 1 seed in the East had 113 points with 53 wins. Your 2 seed had 109 points with 50 wins. The difference was 3 wins, and not even technically that because overtime point and all that kind of stuff. But your difference was 4 points, or if you want to just look at win-loss, 3 wins. That's very small of a window, right? Tampa and Montreal tied in points. Same with Pittsburgh, Philly. I mean, the margins in the standings are super small. And then you take into account it's the sport where a first seed can lose to an 8 seed just off bounces alone, right? So I don't usually look at it as like the top seed is falling flat. Typically, they just play another really great team and it doesn't work out. I just messaged my Habs bro and asked if it's safe to ask how he's feeling. It's nice of you to ask if it's safe, right? I'd prefer a different playoff season just so the Bruins don't have to go through a bunch of Atlantic Division teams every year. There's the argument, right? But I mean, you can make this argument for other leagues as well, because the Atlantic Division has been one of the most difficult divisions every single year, or at least one of the most contested divisions. And it always feels like you have a just gauntlet to work through. Obviously, Vegas gets the easy route to the finals, but the easy route still included Colorado. They were just lucky to watch, 2 of their 3 most important guys get injured. And also they swept them. Like, I'm not taking it away from Vegas. Maybe they win that series anyway, but the Pacific was a joke this year. Bold prediction, Taylor Hall comes out for the third period face-off with a blunt. They spend 20 minutes passing out around the face-off circle. I'm telling you right now, if that happened, I would just evaporate in front of you and appear in that face-off circle with a Senator shirt on in my pajama pants. I mean, that's a dream blunt scenario, Maybe change up the conferences a tad. That's an interesting take, because at that point, what kind of changes do you want to make? You ever seen such a low shot output in a series like this? From one side, no. Like, this is pretty crazy. Oh, Detroit, Colorado, probably. Would you swap them? Because that's a rivalry which I would love to get back to. Tommy, more fuck cancer funds. Hell yeah, brother. Thank you for the generosity. Also, I can do that too. Took me a second, but how many Canes fans in SC? When the rare moment that you run into a hockey fan, which is getting less rare, but in the rare moment that you do, typically they're actually like a Tampa fan or something along those lines. Yeah, I don't feel like I run into a lot of Canes fans down here. Habs haven't played well since game 1, period 1. Which at that point, are you saying they haven't played well, or which I agree, but the Canes have played great except for period 1 of game 1. All right, I gotta run and grab another beer, and take a quick bathroom break. I will be right back. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I can't wait for this third, where we're just going to talk about the death of the Habs for a while. Habs thought they won the series when the Canes were asleep in game 1. Pete, I don't think they did. There was not a Habs fan I know that was confident even after game 1. Jack, I sincerely have a very difficult time seeing that happen. I know you do too. I have Dangle sound on while watching Low Call's empty chair. Oh, he must be live streaming, right? I still feel like I got to figure out how to invite him on for an episode because I feel like we would have a lot to talk about. I want to talk to him about this first overall pick stuff. Oh, the dogs are in bed. They're asleep by now. Pete, I also like crapping on Montreal. Taking Dobish out now, like, what's the point? You didn't do it when you were down 3-0 in the first. You should have. Don't steal the Lost Smells jersey. I'm so nervous about him next year. I really want him to make a real push for the team. Watching hockey with my mom is hilarious because Elliot Friedman is talking on Sportsnet and her feedback is, what an idiot. Yeah, my mother's very opinionated about hockey, but she refuses to learn anything about it, so it's actually just a really difficult conversation. And I know she's just trying to be supportive, but also she'll like argue with you about stuff, and you're like, like intensely argue about stuff that is objectively, it's not an opinion-based thing, it's like objectively wrong. And you're sitting there going, you don't actually watch anything. Why are you this heated about this? And why are you taking such a strong stance? It's very odd. Although I guess that's kind of your regular Twitter bot, right? Is a bunch of accounts of people who aren't actually watching the games, but love to have a very strong opinion about it. One of the things I wanted you guys' take on, and we talked about this a little earlier in the video, but I wonder what your comments to this are. So the Bruins, I harp on all year about their inability to have possession in the offensive zone and to create continued pressure and have more than one chance per trip in the offensive zone. And I keep harping on the lack of speed. And I mentioned this earlier in the video. Montreal does not have a lack of speed, but they don't have our level of physicality, even though, again, I think it's important we point out that Buffalo was not deterred by our physicality at all. And a lot of our physicality was performative because it came after the whistle. And that doesn't actually help with anything. And it helps the refs put you in the box. But I'm wondering if maybe I have the wrong idea about this. And it's not simply an addition of speed. Obviously, you need skill, but it's weird seeing a team like Montreal not be able to string together anything. And I don't know if I should simply say, hey, the Canes are just that good, because then I'm just admitting that the Bruins are a billion years from the Canes and it's going to take a total overhaul to get there. Or if I just have to recognize that there's a level of physicality that's necessary to create, and Montreal's not going to do a good enough job there. God, the Canes have been suffocating, though. Dangle's great. Him joining the channel on the pod of her chat would be awesome. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I got a lot of respect for Dangle. I know a lot of people dislike him. I don't know why. I know he's a little gimmicky. Like, I don't enjoy a lot of his content because the screaming, I just don't like. It's not my vibe. Not that I've never been a screamy type on this channel, but I also see how it's very entertaining. And I also, you can really tell when he's leaning into the gimmick because that's how he makes his money. And he loves the team, and it's pretty authentic to who he is. I just think as he ages, it becomes a little less truthful to how he would normally react. But I got a lot of respect for the guy. I think he does a great job covering the team, and I think he gets a lot of flack just because he's popular. Most successful hate watch? Yeah, I would say this is a great job by you. This is a greatly successful hate watch. Hope the Sabres don't flop next year. That would be a very Buffalo thing to do. You guys are going to have a similar conversation that the Bruins had going into the season, which is you outperformed your analytics by a pretty significant margin for a portion of the year, and that portion of the year was when you were the best team in hockey for about 3 months there. Not to say that you guys were a bad team, but your underlying metrics certainly pointed to there being some flaws. So I think between that Bruins and the Sabres, I think the Bruins are far more likely for a large step back than the Sabres are. But I do think concern is valid, especially if you don't feel confident about your netminder. Dangle goes on Sportsnet Live. I think you'd have to be his guest, unfortunately. Oh, yeah. I can't even figure out how to contact him. Like, I have to go through his agent or something, right? And I don't think he does guest spots like that without some sort of financial benefit, which, again, this is his livelihood. I'm not going to sit here and begrudge that. But yeah, it's more complicated because his rights are kind of like owned, if that's the right way to put it. The Carlo trade, that's one of the main things that I would be asking about. I'd be asking him about this first overall pick and how it's a kind of a funny parallel or really perpendicular to what happened to the Bruins, who were in the 6th spot the year before, or the 5th spot the year before, and moved back to the 7th. I'd love his thoughts on that. I'd love his thoughts on the Carlo trade. Obviously, Minton's growth. And I'd just love to hear his take on Matthews. I unfortunately really don't like their podcasts, so I don't sit down and listen to it. I struggle with their cadence. Let's just go with that. But sometimes there's a podcast where you sit down, you feel like you're part of the boys and everything, and you're chilling with it. For some reason, I can't get there with this one. I don't know why it is. I think it's just a taste thing. Like, I can't stand the Spit and Chicklets. I used to listen to Spit and Chicklets all the time. Past 7 or 8 years, 6 or 7 years, though, I can't listen to them. I just don't enjoy it. I've actually really started to dislike some of the guys on the pod, unfortunately. But again, I don't actually know them. Not my vibe. I like the hockey guy, obviously. Chris Johnson's show is good, but it's just an interview every time, which I wish they would add a little more intrigue to that. How'd I become a Bruins fan? I don't know. I was very little. No one in my family gave a shit about sports at all. Maybe it was something that may be different in the family. I liked sports from a young age. So maybe it was me being different, or how when you're a kid, you want to have something that's your own, or I really don't know what initially introduced me to it, but I liked it right away and just got really absorbed. And Montreal coming into this game playing 14 games to Carolina's 8 and having 0 rest time compared to, Carolina spent basically a month of the playoffs just chilling, waiting for their opponents at this point. Buffalo can play a physical game. Look at the Tampa games. We played well in physical teams. Yeah. No, Buffalo is very good physically. I thought you were more physically between the whistles than the Bruins were. And then the Bruins were more physical after the whistle, which, again, who does that really help? Puck's down 10 seconds into the third period. It was a quick turnaround for the Canes by any means, especially being largely expected to reach a final the past 3-ish years. A lot of disappointing seasons for them. Dangle is a clown. Like, he's not your taste. Totally get that, but I think he works hard and has made a really great career out of this. As countering fans, we're going to disagree with each other and all sorts of stuff, but trust me, there's a lot of people out there that I'm sure have watched things that I've said or videos I've made and thought that I was a total idiot. That used to bother me. You have to get used to that, though. And the Canes, right back to work in the offensive zone, keeping possession, winning the race to the boards, keep it moving, and back down to the boards. Hall leaves it and knows a guy's going to be there. It's just good hockey. I don't have to scream like Dangle. It's what worked for him in the past. It's what he's going to keep doing. I have a lot of respect for the guy. He stays educated on the league to the best of his abilities, and he's made a really great career out of it. I'm jealous, right? Like, I think we should all be a little jealous of. He talks about hockey for a living. That's awesome. I'm not a Dangle hater, More time goes by, the more I worry that a total overall is kind of the only way to get back to truly competing for cups. I think that's going to be in the back of my mind until they do it, or until we become like a really great team again. I think there's no way to not be in a retool and not get that inkling about that, So I guess what I'm saying is I agree. A couple of no calls there. That's interesting, but it makes sense at this stage of the game. Let's see. Do you think Montreal could turn it on for the third? I don't. Puck's cleared. It's a Goldilocks type of thing. You need the right mix of both. Sweeney went hard in one side of it. Canes just caught the league with their style on the right here. I think, Tommy, although I totally agree with what you're saying, I think the Canes have built this very specifically, and it's working out for them. Yes, this year there's an easier path than they've typically had, but if they win the cup, this is a well-deserved cup. I'm not going to sit here and think it's different than any other cup, you know? Oh, is Stengel upset about the Steve stuff? Stengel said he would do everything in his power to get black women into the NHL. I don't know what that means, and I'm going to leave that one alone. And I would prefer not an explanation on that one. That feels like it could get into a weird conversation. I think Edmonton should trade up McDavid to the Leafs for first overall or send him to the Sharks. If I'm Edmonton, I'm still trying to find a way to compete. I have McDavid and I have Draisaitl. All right, Habs have something going here. Nope. And again, they turn it over. They're just blindly chucking around the boards. Oh, turnover on the blue line. Oh, how do you not turn and shoot that? A behind the back pass to no one? I mean, somebody was there, but well covered. And the Canes break it out. Wow. Tampa and Canes play a similar game in a suffocating defense, which is weird that the Habs struggled this much. Canes might just be better at it this year, you know? Engel's a bit performing, but he's genuinely educated and cares about the league. Good model for success talking about the sport. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I mean, look, I try to be as honest as possible, but I guarantee if I went back and watched all my videos, there's going to be some sort of level of performance there. Another great opportunity for the Canes. Canes have a coach that's 100% all in Canes hockey. That's the secret ingredient. I don't know if Rod the Bod he's had to have made them better, right? He's had to have made them better. But sometimes it feels like he holds them back. Another great opportunity for the Canes. Nice save by Dobish, but the best opportunities in the third period have still been for the Canes. Montreal does not have that other gear. And whether that comes with maturity or they need something else added to the team, I'm not sure. Rod the Bod can get water from a rock. There have been certain years where I've kind of looked and been like, you're too committed to the analytics, and sometimes you just need your best players to run crazy. And the leash is always so tight. I never knew being a Habs fan was so reminiscent of being a Bees fan. We all love a good bit. I do love a good bit. When I find a bit that I can use in multiple skits, it's like Christmas morning for me. Oh, yeah, the Canes going to be happy to put this deep as often as possible. Canes also have great contracts in the books. Jarvis signed for 7.5 until 2032, and that's nuts, Chief. That's nuts. It's so cool. Seth Jarvis might be my favorite non-Bruin, and he's for half the price he should be. When you live in the Southeast, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. How hard do you think Florida is going to come back next year? That is entirely dependent on the netminder situation. Do I think they're a playoff team? Yes. They're also in a division of 8 teams that all believe they should be in the playoffs next year. Literally, one of the teams in the Atlantic has the first overall pick and still believes they should be in the playoffs next year. This is going to be a dogfight, and it's going to be a bitch and a half to get through. Next season's going to be a tough one for everyone in the Atlantic. Being a Bruins fan in Florida between Tampa and the Panthers, that's tough. I do feel for you. I genuinely do. But I think Florida's good next year, but if Bobrovsky doesn't re-sign and they don't have an answer in net, that makes a team worse so much faster than any other position leaving their team. Yeah, it does look like Montreal's done. They just don't have that next gear. And frankly, the game 7 against Buffalo and the game 7 against Tampa, they didn't have the next gear. They managed to win those series. They deserve respect for it, but they were largely outchanced, largely outplayed. Dobish keeps them in it. They get the opportunistic goal when necessary. They win. They deserve respect. They're a good team, but I'm a little worried about where that next gear is for them. What up, Dano the Mano? Yeah, had to sit down. It's been like 2 weeks. I had to get back to it. I feel like the first 2 periods I was better about talking about the game, and now I'm just talking to chat again. I'm trying to get better at that. I've certainly heard the criticism, and I think it's right. I get a little too chatty and not talk about the game enough. Montreal ices it. It's just a bad performance by Montreal. It's ironic that Montreal is staunch on needing a French-speaking head coach, yet they're cool with having a 160-pound, 5'7" player as their number one D-man. He's on their second pair, but I understand your point. I think their back end is fine, right? Because Hudson is exactly what you need Hudson to be. But Dodson's been great. They've got Gooley as well, who's good. Matheson is awesome. He's so underrated. It's crazy. And then who else do they have back there? Carrier's been good. That basically wraps up who I think has been good. Oh no, my stream froze again. Come back. I want to continue watching the ass kicking. Don't bring up Game 7, please. Jack, every time I see your name, I'm reminded that Buffalo took their long schlong and smacked the Bruins out of it. You know, you got to work with me here a little bit. Oh, the stream died. That's all right. We fix. Thank you, Bad News Matthews. Also, your name is really ironic considering that Matthews might be giving the Leafs some bad news soon. Okay, now my volume's gone. What is happening right now? Yes, more live streams are the finals. I'm going to try to do at least 4 games, and then go from there. And there's other content coming out, obviously, as we get close to the draft and free agency. Have a lot to talk about. Belt to ass was the best bit. Oh, my stream doesn't look like it wants to come back, but we have options. Ooh. One of them went down. Look at this. The most popular site that I typically go to for my games is fully shut down. RIP. You hate to see it. Jackson Blake is another player who's amazing and signed at $5.1 million. Yeah, that deal's also nuts. And he still has potential to be even better. Would have rather lost how Boston lost in Game 6 than how the Sabres lost. Yeah, I feel you. Bruins desperately need at least a couple of these prospects to hit. Others, I feel players are forced their hand for a potential rebuild. I'm super, super with you on that. If you don't have, and like if Hagens doesn't become at least a real top 6 guy, you're kind of screwed. You got to reset at a certain point. All right, we're back. Maybe back. We'll see. I'm not having internet issues because otherwise the stream would die. Hate this finals matchup, but Mitch lifting the cup the very next year would be hilarious. It would be really funny. And kind of always fuck the Leafs. So, I just think Freddie Anderson winning a Conn Smythe would be even funnier to me. Another power play for Montreal, huh? God forbid they do something with it, right? Yeah, Thomas told me the other night from the short shift pod that he might genuinely have to root for Vegas over Carolina. And Thomas dislikes Vegas for a lot of the same reasons I do. I always underestimate this guy's hatred for the Canes. I mean, he truly hates the Canes. If you're willing to vote to root for Vegas over I mean, it's completely built off the hatred of the Canes. You must really hate them. I mean, this is the best power play. Oh, that almost goes there. This is the best power play they've had all game by far. We should know that Minton and Kuzi are legit, so the younger core of guys have something to build off of. Yes, Fraser Minton. The problem I'm having, and this isn't a problem. I said all year, if Fraser Minton is just this guy, right, and he's just an excellent third line center for the Bruins with like a little bit of development, I'm fine. That's a great trade. The Carlin trade was perfect. It was awesome. It was, yes, great. This team really needs Minton to turn into a top two center on this team. Like, they really need it. He might start next year as the number one center because Elias looks like a fourth liner. A 2-on-1, short-handed. I can't connect to the pass. Still, though, the best chances are coming for the Canes in every setting. I stand with Thomas. Screw the Canes. It's nice to know that there's other people out there working with Thomas. Any OG Whalers fan is obligated to despise the Canes. Valid. And it's because they rub it in the... Like, no one wants to see you use the Whalers' history in your own. Like, that's just gross. You're not the Whalers. You're a totally different team. Leave it behind. What we really need to do is tell Char to tell Sam Adams to fix their crappy revamp of Boston Lager. It sucks now. Did they change the Boston Lager? I haven't had a Boston Lager in about a year. And again, 2-on-2 for the Canes. Here they come. All right, they turn it over, but still. 10:30 left. It's still a 5-0 game. The end of the minute, did you actually send like a strongly worded letter to Sam Adams? Because that's hilarious, and I agree. That's another power play for Montreal. Another power play. They're going to go through this game. They're going to have 0 goals on 5 power plays. Brass Bonanza does slap. Ghost? I mean, everyone feels good on that bench. No one gives a shit. If you're going to blow a 5-goal lead with 10 minutes left in the game, you don't deserve to win the game in the first place. You're up by 5 goals. These guys are still diving in front of shots. I see 2C potential in Mitney, but he's got to work on his offensive production, something like 50, 60 points a season. Yeah, his shot is the biggest thing to me. Confidence with the puck, everything I'm not worried about. By the time he's 23 years old, I think that he'll rack up some assists, right? But his shot right now is largely crest, basically every time where he's missing the net. He just needs a little confidence and a little more accuracy trying to get the corners. I don't care if he's more of a 50-point guy, that's still a good 2C. If 20 to 25 of those points are goals, you know? That's what I'm really looking for there. The concerning thing, of course, is that when you compare past Bruins who were like really great players, they all started to hit these higher point thresholds early. And I don't know if it's because they kind of like were all doing it at the same time in my head for that 2011 team and whatnot, but we're taking long form development for this team as like the way to get guys right now. Because Dean Letourneau, right? He's gonna be the oh Cole Caulfield. That's kind of salt in the wound in a weird way. 50 goals this year. You're down 5-0. You finally get one. It just hurts. That's a great scar. Sorry. It's a great goal. Never let anyone tell you your shot has to be hard to score. Your shot just has to be deceptive. Spoke to them for an hour. Sam Adams, you let him have it, brother. They unretired the Whalers numbers and don't respect Whalers history. Fuck them, but also fuck Vegas for Hart. Go Team Meteor. Yeah. Valid. Yeah, I just want to see Mitten with a productive goal scoring season because I feel like his shot has a ton of potential. He just struggles to hit his spot. I also think Mitten's point totals largely he was very unlucky in the season. I think he should have ended up with more. I did call a 5-1 final. They didn't get their one in the time frame that I expected, but that was a bold take anyway. Minton is so good, but the way he sees the ice, I would bet another strength he will develop is mentoring younger players as he gets older. Yeah, very mature already. They can say they weren't shut out. You remember last year when Rod was this last year or 2 years ago? Maybe 2, but when Rod the Bod was like, I don't feel like we were swept, and they were definitely swept. Chief. I love that NBA meme. Hits a huge 3 to cut the lead to 47. Rip it! Dobish. Good save. Pasta doesn't look at the goalie when he's in a shootout. Yeah, he just tries his best to disguise the shot behind his body. He tries to screen it himself. That's why his shot looks lazy, is because it's on his hip, and he's trying to angle it in a way where you can't really see where he's going with it. Every team has to have their final goal this season, right? Fucking get them. A question from Michael. Montreal the last 2 games looks like they just absolutely cannot score against this Canes team, yet they put up 6 in game 1. How do you explain that? Adjustments by Canes? Rust. The Canes were off for almost 2 full weeks, and they just started really sluggish. And Montreal was coming off of a game 7 where they had to have everything going. I just think they were ready for a higher level of intensity than the Canes were. That's all it is. It's a good question, but I genuinely think it's mostly just the Canes who are trying to get their legs back a little bit. I do think that people oftentimes forget, and I'm not saying that this is you, but a lot of times when myself and others, we watch this sport and we forget the level of play they're truly at. We think we get it because we watch it, but to be at the level that they're at, it just takes the perfect scenario for everything. They work so hard to maintain that. Like Riley and Jonesy, right? You're saying we're at this level, but we need to get to this level. That's what the Canes need to do early in the series. Have a great night, Dano the Mano. And you tell Sam Adams to get their shit together. Unbelievable. Minton's limit is 2C, not because he can't play with Pasta, but more so because his team can't pretend they don't need a 1C. 100%. I mean, he's just objectively, that's not a 1C on a championship level team. Is he a middle 6 center on a championship team? I genuinely think he could be, which is a huge compliment. Because if you don't have strength down the middle, you don't win a cup. Period. 2023 when Rod said that. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. I kind of get where he's coming from because Sweet implies one team dominated the whole time, and I think 3 of the games went to overtime or something. Yes, but also hilarious, right? Thank you for the question, Michael. The Canes play so much overtime, though. Like, they play 3 additional games through every playoff. True. They're just so like, they just don't let a lot of games get away from them. They don't blow a lot of teams out, although this year they certainly have, but they're very good at staying in the game. Thought we'd get a better game tonight, guys. I genuinely am sorry. Fun dunking on the Habs, though. I think Minton can be a solid 2C. He had 17 goals this year. There's definitely potential for him to be a 20-goal, 40-assist guy. Yeah. Seriously, if he hits like, hey, 25 goals, 40 assists, 65 points, it's not quite David Krejci. I mean, David Krejci had seasons like that, but he's also defensively extremely sound. He's going to play on all special teams. He's exactly the type of player you want on your team. Minton's going to be a Boston Bruin for a very long time if this year is an indicator of what he can be, and he does climb those steps. The problem with hockey development is you never know when your best year was. This is so over. The Canes are just munching minutes. I gotta say, one thing that's very impressive as the Canes ice the puck, to alter my point, but I will say that I'm impressed by the Canes' outlet passes and how much distance there are between the passer and the recipient and how accurate they are, how easily they're getting picked up by the recipient. They're creating rush chances with these 100-foot passes tape to tape every other shift. It's really impressive. A former Sabre will win a cup. Okay. Former Sabre, obviously Eichel on Vegas. And the Canes have, don't tell me now, former Sabre on the Canes. Oh, there's an obvious one that I'm very much missing, isn't there? Montreal putting together some pressure here. Dude, you told me this too. You told me who the Canes Sabre was at one point, I think. But then again, I do have the memory of a goldfish, which... Wait, did Ghost play for the Sabres? Ghost has played for everybody, right? Selke candidates, it's really hard to become a Selke candidate, I feel like, unless you're completely dominant on that side of the ice. But if there was a player I would choose that would be the next Bruins Selke candidate, it would 100% be Minton. And that's not even close, actually. Chief, I'm with you. This is not a good enough effort. I feel like Habs fans can't even sit there and be like, well, we really fought to the end. I don't think this is good enough by any means. Canes Knights, who you got and who you're rooting for? I've got the Canes. I am heavily rooting for the Canes. I would hate to see Vegas win another cup. Taylor Hall. How the hell? They were the ones who traded. Hall forced his way to the Bruins from the state. How did I not get that? Damn. Very dumb. We've been talking about Hall all night, too. As much as I love the Beast fourth line, Bruins might have more success spreading the physical play by having Jeannot and Cassidy play on different lines like the beginning of last season. Neither Jeannot or Cassidy should be anywhere above the third line. So, yes, while I agree you can spread them out in the bottom six, I would have a very hard time convincing myself that they make sense on a second line. I don't know if that's me agreeing with you or not, because I'm not sure entirely what you meant. But also, what a season by Jeannot. He's been dog shit in previous stops. I was really impressed by him this year. Obviously, the contract is still too much for what's going to be a fourth liner, but yeah, really, really impressed by him this year. What a waste of a Game 7 victory by the Canes. Yeah. Do you think the Bruins would be better off playing zone defense with the roster they had? It seemed like the speed teams had them scrambling too much. I think there's an argument to be made. The defense did improve drastically towards the end of the season, I thought. I don't know what adjustments they made. They seem to really love this hybrid man situation where the defense gets to kind of sit back, but your forwards are on a man rotation. But pick plays are becoming super. I mean, they've been very popular in the NHL for a long time now, and the refs largely don't call them. You're allowed to pick a player as long as you're not moving. So these man assignments for our forwards who already aren't very good at defense, they're getting lost on these picks very easily. I think there's an argument for it being better off if those pick plays resulted in a man switch rather, which you would see more in zone, rather than a man on man situation. Philly put up a better fight than this. I mean, Philly didn't get a game though, so Bussy is interesting because he had such a poor end of the season. Uh, but at this point, put him in the game just so he can see some rubber in case something happens to Anderson, right? Steve's isn't bad defensively. Yeah, Minton is better. I agree with that. And Minton's going to get better or harder assignments than Steve's is. If Mitch wins, does that make Matthews more likely to force a trade? I don't think so. I think those are two very separate situations. Crazy how hated the Ice became for very valid reasons. To be fair, I disliked that they were immediately good anyway. I thought they were a fun story, and then they immediately they just turned into shitbags immediately. Oh, close calls. I thought it was in the net the other way. And they still get the puck, though. They win the race to it. Montreal, what are we doing here? Uh-oh, hold on. You've got numbers. Oh, not really. Yikes. This is gross. If you're watching a Sportsnet stream, it's sad to see the Rogers commercials don't give up hope. This is our game, and then cut right back to the Canadians about to be eliminated. I find that hilarious, actually. I want Golden Knights to win so the Bruins could whine about not picking Tortorella as a coach that I wanted. Empty netter, 6-1 final. I was wrong on my final prediction. I didn't want Torts as a coach. Torts is a 2-year coach, and that's great. He's not very good with young developing players, which we have a couple of. I didn't think it made sense to this team. Made all the sense in the world for a team that was about to hit the playoffs and needed a boost, though. Also, what do you think happened with Cassidy in Vegas? Feels super weird to fire coach right before the playoffs. Cassidy is rough edged for players. And the Golden Knights had what can only be described as an extremely frustrating year where they should have been better, injuries and whatnot, but also just it was very clear that the players were frustrated. And oftentimes the guy giving you the orders is the one you get frustrated with when things aren't going the right way. Vegas has a bold approach, and I think they made the right decision in saying, no, we want our players to feel like we're giving everything we can to give them a chance. They feel like Bruce isn't doing that for them. Out. Now, I do think they're pieces of shit for how they're treating Bruce since. I don't know what their reasoning is that he can't talk to other teams. It's not like he'd be talking to Carolina's coaching staff or anything like that to try to give them insights. It's, Did it? I didn't hear the "We Want Vegas" chant. I've only heard the "We Want the Cup." I hate that chant. I think it's just bad mojo. Whereas let Brandon Bussy go after last season, his record was 31-6-2 this season. They haven't even played him in these playoffs. I guarantee if Bussy played for the Boston Bruins this year, his numbers would be horrid. Now, look, I think Bussy could be an NHL backup and a consistent one at that, but he needs the right situation. The Bruins are horrific defensively for a large portion of the season. The Canes, best defensive team in the league, or at least top 3. So, while I think they did let him go and you're letting talent walk away, I agree with you there. I certainly don't think he would have had this season behind the Bruins. That being said, the Corpusalo not moving off of him continues to just be a massive mistake. He's just a bad backup goaltender. He doesn't need to be here. You like the choices in our bottom 6 has been death by 1,000 cuts. I would have loved a bottom 6 of Boquist, Mitten, Hoosie, Jeannot, Kepke, Kastelik. Yeah, it's also just really hard to commit to bottom 6 guys long term, especially if they're looking for a bigger paycheck. Because Kepke was, I don't know what Kepke ended up getting. I think he went to Winnipeg or something like that. But Kepke was really good, and I really liked him. And then off he went. And maybe they just thought they had better options or they wanted a different look. I don't think those guys make a difference. I liked our bottom six a lot this year. I liked our fourth line a lot this year. Our third line was a mixed bag. Let Vladar go. I was very on board with letting Vladar go. I think Vladar has proven me incorrect for what I thought he was going to be. Maybe. I thought Vladar was going to be a long-term NHL backup. He was a starting goaltender and a damn good one this year. He has to do it 2 years in a row, right? Random goalies have great years all the time in the league. And that one great year is all that they get. Got to see another good year. I wanted to know Patra, Steves, or Middlestat line. I like that. Les Mills is in our bottom six next year over Corrali, calling it now. I would love that. I think it should happen. It depends on how healthy Les Mills is. Obviously, the surgery he had late in the season is what I'm referring to there. Honestly, really pissed the Knights are in the finals since it's pretty much ruined the series for me. Hart being able to even sniff the cup is disgusting. Yeah, I don't like it either. I don't like it either. I don't want to have the whole discussion because it always gets really heated and weird, but I'm not a fan. This time around, Torts seems to be starting with the year 2 antics right off the jump. A situation, it just can't be a great situation for Torts. He has to add some sort of level of drama. Like, everyone wants to think of Torts as this gruff, serious, manly man. He's a drama queen. He's like the closest thing to a little bitch you can get. He loves the drama. He's great at his job for a couple of years, though. Little bitch is not fair, but you know what I mean. Listen to this building. They're going to the finals. They did it. The Canada Stanley Cup drought is crazy. That's right. 32 years without a cup. Guess who's turning 33 this year? Wait, is that right? 33? Do I turn 33 or 32 this year? 33. No one keeps track of their age. I'm a grown man. Don't like Jack Eichel and don't like the Canes. Damn. Yes, I thought Vegas, perfect play to bring in Torts when they did. I don't believe Les Mills went to the Worlds, did he? Am I wrong about that? I think he's still rehabbing. The Leafs fan, we have common enemy. Fuck Vegas. Valid, and I agree. Yep, Torts always gets that team to jump, right? They always get a push. Perfect timing. And here comes Carolina. This is going to be a series, man. I Google my age all the time. I mean, who cares, right? Like, I can't keep track of it. You'd think it'd be easy to keep track of, but Torts won the cup in 2004. He's been riding it ever since. That's true. All right, Vegas. Game 7 or a sweep. Let's go. All right, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, Vegas has been their best version of themselves since the playoffs started. Women being able to bring a cup to Canada before the men. Dude, women's hockey, I have got to pay more attention because every time I tune in, I'm like, this is some damn good hockey. It's physical, too. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Kind of a lame game at the end of it, but thank you for hanging out. I got to call my boy now. Congratulate him. Yeah, I think the injuries to Colorado had a lot to do with it, but they really did just smack them around and deserve a lot of respect for that. Torts has some hilarious interview moments, 4 goals on 16 shots. Yeah, he does have some good ones. Don't think it's a long series, 6 at most. One team is going to be hard counter to the other, I think. And I literally think it's Vegas has scoring talent, right? They can put together a burst of goals out of nowhere. The Canes have this will grind you down and will be the better team throughout. It'd be really interesting to see which philosophy actually actually wins out here. Chief! Thank you for sticking around for the stream and having a good time. Obviously, we'll be doing more for the finals, but thank you for the Fuck Cancer funds, my friend. Thank you so much. It's very generous of you. 10 big ones. Hell yeah, brother. Frankel is the queen. Hate to see how her season ended. This will be a great final. I think it could be. I think it really could be. Bad news, Matthews. Absolutely. Thanks for hanging out. God, how long is it going to take for them to bring out the other trophy? I kind of want to see if they touch it or not. Not that, like, I think it actually has anything to do with anything, but I just like to know how bold they are. Canes have been thinking about this trophy just as much as a Stanley Cup trophy for a long time. Marty, nice tie game right there. Ralphie, have a great night. And yeah, I'm hoping to. Game 1 should be Tuesday, right? I think they're give them a little break and then we're back at it. Oh, it depends. I guess we'll see, but I hope to be streaming a lot of the finals. Jack, have a great night. Thanks for sticking around. Go Sabres, buddy. Absolutely. I'll save my hatred for next year, brother. For now, go Sabres. Oh, this is I'm just excited. The second, I think. When you say the second is Tuesday. Oh, do you mean it might be the second game? Like they'll start Sunday and then I guess we'll see. Maybe they already have it up actually. Stanley Cup final to begin June 2nd or June 4th. Every game of this 2026 Stanley Cup final will start at 8 p.m. Chris. And will be available on ABC in the US and Canada. So I'm always going to be streaming in a weird way. Yeah. Oh, because they had a game 6 if necessary on Sunday. Hold on. What is this? Yeah, they're saying Tuesday is game 1. Yeah. Yeah, the second. Yep. You are correct. Third team ever to go 12-1 into the final. If they sweep the final, the first team ever to go 16-1. Big ask, obviously, but I mean, this is they finally got over the hump. They did it. They finally did it. All right, are we? They presented the trophy. We got it. Bill Daly, Prince of Wales. Look at the shine on that head. Wear a cap, you motherfucker. Also, up your tie game. What is that? All right, here we go. Do they grab it? Doesn't look like they're gonna. Doesn't look like they're gonna. Canes are going to be a threat now. They have like 11 million cap space now and a full draft cover. Yeah, no, they're set up very well. Look at the dome on Bill Daly. Look at the dome. We got tears out here? No, we don't. Just emotional. Who are they beckoning over? Look at Taylor Hall. Get them buck teeth out. Hell yeah, brother. We're ready. Oh, they've got the staff. Hell yeah, that's what we like. Is look at them all. Yes. That's the way you do it. We're all part of this. You know, knowing how this feels, right? I'm actually really, really happy for my buddy who's a Canes fan. He's got to be so excited right now. It's just awesome. Going to the finals is awesome. No one's touching it. You know what? I think if I was ever captain of an NHL team, we won that trophy. I think I would tell like just a rando on the team, right? Like anybody, right? Maybe a bold, a guy who could take the heat online. And I'd be like, hey, when everything's said and done and we're about to walk away, just sneakily put your pinky on it, knowing the cameras are going to catch him, right? And it's going to turn into this whole online story of them being like, oh, he thought he was sneaking a touch or whatever it was. And then just having that whole narrative for the week following up to the finals. Oh, that'd be fun. Good for them, man. Awesome. All right, I got to call my boy. I got to congratulate him. Thank you, everyone, for joining the stream and hanging out. I had a great time. There'll be more content coming out very soon. Got some videos that we were working on. And I really think the Bruins might try to trade into the top 5. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying it's possible, and they might think about it. Duke, yeah, for sure. The anxiety. I had this conversation with him years ago when the Canes weren't just the underdog anymore and they had expectations. He pointed out to me, like, this feels worse. I was like, yeah, dude, it's so fun being an underdog in the playoffs. But when you're expected to win, it starts to hurt. Have a great night, Zelly. Have a great night, Duke. Have a great night, Jack. Have a great night, Ralphie and Bad News Matthews and Cayman and everybody. Chief. Thank you, everyone. No Shield, Pete. Thank you, everybody who hung out. Racer, Michael, the whole crew. Dano, the Mano. Yeah, have a great night. Thank you for hanging out with me. And then I really do think I'm gonna. It's Tuesday. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stream Tuesday. I think that's the look. So have a great night. I'm gonna call my boy and congratulate him, and then call him a